What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. In the 1980s, Black America had a crisis. Many of us had either family members involved or were involved yourself with being addicted to crack cocaine. My father was one of those addicts. And of course, that's what you saw with rap music and the evolution of gangster rap. And also at that time, there was the Bloods and Crips in America and so much crime going on and on the East Coast corridor, Philadelphia, New York City, and the like. And this is what was being promoted to Black America at that time. And this stereotype that Black Americans at that time known as African Americans were like that. And that was the poison of the Black community. However, Bill Cosby changed that. And with the innovation of the Cosby Show, we got to see another side of Black America that existed that many of us could not relate to, or many of us wanted to relate to. And that was an inside look at the quote unquote Black elite. All right. The people that may have went to the Jack and Jill and those festivals, the educated Black community that many of us knew existed but didn't have a way inside of their homes. And the Cosby Show was the answer and the rebuttal to the negative stereotypes about Black America, that people like this did exist. And of course, with his fictitious Hillman College, which was the HBCU, and him being an OBGYN and his wife being an attorney, which was Claire Huxtable, we got to see this beautiful family from the side of Black America that we never really knew. And of course, the cast had some really interesting people. There was Vanessa Huxtable, okay? There was Rudy Huxtable. There was Denise Huxtable. And then there was the son, Theodore Huxtable, played by Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Now, as a young man, he had problems just like everybody else. And, you know, just like you saw with some of the white families, like the Leave It to Beaver show, you know, he was coming up as a young man that had issues from a very well-educated family, but a young, respectable Black man coming out of Black America, and that many of us adored and aligned. And so many people in Black America said, listen, I want my son to be like Theodore Huxtable, or I want my daughter to be like Vanessa Huxtable. And that's what the Cosby Show did for Black America. I was talking to my buddy who's about my same age in the UK in London. And he said, whenever the Cosby Show came on, everybody in Black London, including his family, would stop what they would do and come and watch the show. That was the impact that the Cosby Show had from 1984 to 1992, not being just America's favorite Black show, but America's favorite show, period. Okay? It resonated so well that white people loved the Cosby Show. It was America's favorite show. But then today, this news came about.
And we do have some breaking news to report, and it's extremely sad. Malcolm-Jamal Warner, the actor most famous for his role as Bill Cosby's son, Theodore Huxtable, on the NBC hit sitcom The Cosby Show in the 80s and early 90s, has died. Police say he drowned off the coast of Costa Rica yesterday while vacationing with his family. Warner was born in New Jersey and raised by his mother, who enrolled him in acting school. His role on The Cosby Show earned him an Emmy nomination in 1986. And then after The Cosby Show, Warner went on to direct and produce multiple television shows while playing music and writing poetry. Malcolm-Jamal Warner was 54 years old.
Malcolm-Jamal Warner passed away in Costa Rica by drowning. And you know, you would think that somebody like Malcolm-Jamal Warner, who didn't really have such a, outside of his career being on the Huxtables, he's most notably known for that. And the rest of his career, you know, he directed, he did some things and stuff like that. He was on A Different World at around the same time, but his career was not like Will Smith's or that it blown up. And, you know, he was doing his thing, but it was never to the same level as he was Cosby Show. But once he passed away, the comments and the outpouring of grief and sadness, not only from the people in the Black American community, but people all over the world who looked at him as a part of something that was great for Black America. Something that said that we couldn't have families like that that we couldn't be high achievers like that we couldn't be intellectuals. Malcolm-Jamal Warner represented all of that, and him dying represents a death of something that we don't see today. Now, let me just tell you this. Yeah, you have some shows that have tried to mimic that in certain ways. The Bernie Mac show, it's not the same thing. Theo Huxtable. We've tried to have shows that represented black people on a professional level that was tied to a black family, but it was never the Cosbys. And it represented a death of an era, which is, and don't kill me when I say this, guys, don't get mad, the death of the black community. That's kind of what we look at it. Some of us look at it as. And when I'm not trying to say the community is not there, but the black community is not there like it used to be in the 80s. Like when you had Big Mama still and, black homecomings and understanding who you were as a people. And you didn't have grandmas that was like 33 years old twerking. Like the black community that had some level of structure, some level of people that spoke to each other, that cared about each other. Like if you guys grew up in the 80s and we look at just people in the black neighborhood, I grew up in Del Paso Heights, California, all right? And I lived in Compton. But when I grew up in Del Paso Heights, the street that I lived on, we would see people who were all transient to California, meaning they were not born there, but you would see black people speaking, black folks talking, right? And even though Malcolm-Jamal Warner was born in 1970, he's Generation X, but he represents a person that saw the black community from the correct way. And those of us that grew up close to millennial, Generation X, the earlier millennials, I'm 1981, I was born there, we saw that. We saw how tight-knit the black community was. We saw if your grandma did hair in the black community and she was involved in church, all the churches knew her so they would trust her. I come from a time where, hey, listen, if your grandma, if you don't go to church, I can't be your friend. My mom gotta know what church your grandma went to, your mom went to. If you didn't go to Union Baptist in Del Paso Heights, you didn't go to Mount Olive, you didn't go to Pearly Gate, you didn't go to Mount Calvary, if you didn't go to any of those churches that we couldn't fact check you, you could not be there. And the Cosby Show represents that level of how the community was, that level of black excellence. Your parents telling you when you was a kid, I want you to go to Howard University. I want to go to Morehouse College. That's kind of what we wanted. A lot of us wanted to go to HBCUs because of the Cosby Show. I applied to Howard and got in. Alabama and A&M and got in. All because of what I saw in the Cosby Show. For many of us, we didn't even see this in our family. Like at the time the Cosby Show was hot, my dad was on drugs. Like literally. The time that you saw Bill Cosby taking care of his family, him going back and forth with his wife is looking professional. You got a young man that's 15, and then I go outside, I see 15-year-olds throwing up the B, throwing up Crip. Where you from? What you doing? Like, ain't got no parents, ain't got no homes, nothing. You looking at these folks like, why they family like this and our family not like this? This is how the black family's supposed to be? And Malcolm-Jamal Warner represented a part of that died in our culture. And that's why the outpouring support for him is so crazy, because he represented that. And a lot of us, all we can do is just pray that we can go back to how the black community used to be from what we saw. We pray to go back to that. Like, where is that representation now? In today's time, if the Cosby Show was relevant today, it'd have a mom, 3 kids, no dude, and maybe 2 of the kids will have different fathers. And you see now, and in today's world, one of the kids is LGBTQ or trans. And it just showed that the black community could do something. The black people could be something. And everybody was, and it made us look so good. It made Black America look so professional. And it showed that other side, that especially, in your black cities, Oakland, which has a chapter of Jack and Jill, all through Baltimore, we have people that look like this and act like this. We do have academics. We do have hardworking black families in Chicago. We do have black people that actually know what they're doing, that own their own businesses, that are nurse practitioners, that are doctors. And it's sad to see that he met his demise in Costa Rica. I want to just show my respect to him, what he meant to me as a young dude, like watching him going through his struggles as a teenager on the show and how his father dealt with him. And a lot of us wish that we had a father that dealt with us in a similar way. Because my daddy was like, look, I ain't gonna tell you again. And if it was an episode of the Cosbys and my dad was, it would be like 2 punches. The show would have been over in like 30 seconds. There ain't gonna be no ending. Just your ass knocked out on the floor. And that's the whole season. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Just follow, you do subscribe to the bell. We out.